call it the Temple of Speed, and the pilgrims have come to worship. It's all about the speed today. Qualifying awaits us. Welcome to Monza for the Italian Grand Prix.
Well, a very good evening, everybody, and welcome to Delta T Racing's Thursday night. So it's time for Division 2, coming round number 8 this week from Monza in Italy. So let's jump on as per normal, see who the first person is out. I think it's going to be Pavlosidor. Right, okay, so whilst we are running around, obviously you saw the tables. Let's just pop them up. As you see, Bogrovsky leading the way in the McLaren with 110 points, so 15 points clear of F1 Johnny in second place with the Williams. Third place, Brother Adam, 75 points, so a further 20 points back. And then we have Kazingle in fourth, 69 points, picking up second place last week, so putting himself back up the top end after missing a couple of races and a couple of well, not as good as I think he'd have hoped for. Hammers up into fifth after winning last time out in Great Britain, so pops himself up into fifth on 62 points, joint with Daniel, who finished third last week on the podium at Great Britain. Then rounding out, we've got Connor, Hummer, Bob Spun, and Ralph. So I'm just going to get rid of this for the moment because we are on to our first lap. So Pavlosidor coming down towards turn number 1. Always an interesting corner at the start of a race and at restart under safety car. So hopefully we won't have too many issues there tonight. So just popping the volume up there seemed a little bit low. So where are we? Pavlosidor, he is, well, he's invalidated. So let's jump back with Ralph. I tell you what, let's go on with Johnny, so second in the championship. So we'll be looking at trying to get in a good lap and get up the front of the grid. There we go, out to Ascari. So just the small straight and the Parabolica, or the Curva Alboreto as it was renamed recently. I think I'm going to stick to Parabolica. Nothing against Alboreto, great driver, but Parabolica is just a bit of history. So here we go, Johnny now coming round onto the start-finish line. We'll see what time he is going to post early doors of 21.102. That's 0.7 behind Ralph. Ralph with a pretty quick lap there, to be honest. I wonder if he got a nice toe. So a toe can be very useful around here, so good teamwork is pretty vital, to be honest with you. Bog, is Bog crossing the line for a time? He was up into second place. Let's jump on with Hammers, who has aborted. So I think Hammers may have been the tower on this occasion. I'm sure they will swap round and Bog will reciprocate. Right, who do we have out on a lap that we can jump on with? Wazza, how is Wazza going to go? So Wazza normally quite quick around Monza, but so one small mistake here can be very costly. Also penalties as well. Looks like he's getting got a nice toe off of his teammate Jack there. Jack putting in 121.1, so I've missed a lot of them to start with, so I do apologise. I've had a bit of a hectic last 48 hours, so only just about made it tonight, but looking forward to a bit of rest and relaxation over a long bank holiday weekend. So Wazza now coming around, enables DRS. As he approaches up to the Ascari chicane, down into 5th. Probably do it dropping it or putting it back up to 6th a little bit earlier there, get better traction in the second half of the chicane. But here we are now going down to the Parabolica, last corner, long right hander, and he'll be flat out onto the start finish line. What time can he post? And he's a 20.4 to put it on pole position. He's not going to get that with 21.2 into 5th place. So only 2 drivers so far down into the 1 minute 20s, which is Ralph Albert's 20.485 and Bog just managing to squeeze in by 31 thousandths of a second, 20.969. So I think we'll see people going a little bit quicker than that. Scully, how is Scully doing? He's just about to start his second out lap, I think. Scully having a good well, he didn't have a good race at Britain, but the week before, where were we the week before? Was it Belgium? Had a very good race, getting his first podium. Was hoping that he might carry a little bit of confidence forward into the last race at Britain, but it didn't quite go his way, unfortunately. So he'll be looking to try and bounce back and get into the points here. Obviously, second half of the season now, round number 8 today of 12. I think we've got 3 sprint races coming up, if I remember right. Oh, a little bit inside there, just onto the grass. He'd have lost a lot of time and traction there. Pavlasidor coming into the pits. Connor, how is Connor getting on? So we have Connor and Kavolis. Let's stay on board with Connor. So coming round Lesmo 2, we'll enable that DRS now. Be flat out heading up towards the Ascari chicane. Let's see what gears he goes down into. So 876. So yeah, just down the 2 gears, keeps the traction by minimising the wheel spin. Changing through into 7th. Okay, up towards the Parabolica. We'll see what time Havoc is going to put on the board. As in, it's been very consistent this year, to be honest, Connor, and his pace has been good. Just had a bit of bad luck. Otherwise, I think he'd be higher. 20.409. Did he invalidate? He must have invalidated. Ooh, that's a shame. Well, it shows he's got the pace in him, so he could be looking at a front row qualification. Okay, who else are we going to have a quick look at? So Waz will be coming. Daniel will be on his second hot lap. So draining that battery down. To see who else. I have to say, sorry, I know it's... but here we go. This is going to be teamwork for you. This is Bog giving Hammers a tow. Or Hammers giving Bog a tow. I'm not sure which way round that was, but working very well together. Skipper, is he working with his teammate? No. So Daniel, right, how is he getting on going through the Ascari chicane? Ralph, but at 120.1. Ralph, sorry, apologies. I've missed both of your quick laps today. I'll make sure to jump on you in what I expect will be your third run in a few minutes. Coming, put some fresh tyres on, go out again. But Daniel now coming round. What time is he going to pop on the ball? 20.774. So up into third place. Cavolis as well. Didn't notice that, but up 20.647 in the Red Bull this week. Been a reserve driver this year, pretty consistently so as well. Normally taking part and been driving in the Alpine. But Alpine have signed a new driver this week in Rika, but unfortunately it doesn't look like he's made it onto the grid. Okay, so here is Bog. Here we go. This is the tow. Bog giving the tow to Hammers. So composite is out. What happened to composite? A pit lane retirement, I think, but we've got a yellow flag out there. So that is not going to help anyone on a flying lap going through that. So we are, it's in section 2, so it's, oh, section 3. Yeah, the Ascari chicane. Right, Hammers, what can you do? A decent tow off of your teammate. Let's see what time you can put down on the ball. Bog still behind. Potential Bog could be going for his run after this one if he stays with Hammers and then uses the tow down the start finish line. Just use an extra out lap to get some heat into his tyres, but we'll be heating them up quite a lot by trying to keep up with Hammers. We'll see. So here we go, heading down towards the Parabolica. Puts in a 20.8, so up into 6th place for him. So I think there is more in the tank for him. Bog obviously on that 20.9, which is what he did on his first lap, but does look like he's certainly fresh on ERS, so could potentially go for a second run here. Hammers can still give him a tow, certainly if they can time it right, approaching the Ascari chicane. Go, he gets out of the way. Bog being very respectful of the corners there. You can cut that in a corner, but if you get it wrong, it will rotate your car round and you'll be kissing the wall before you know it. So Bog now round Lesmo 1 into Lesmo 2, early onto the throttle, open up that DRS and floor it as quick as you can up towards Ascari. Here we have the flick through turns 8, through turns 9, turn 10. Now the small straight up to the Parabolica and on to the start finish line. What time can Bog put on the board? Looks like a pretty tidy lap, but tidy doesn't always mean quick. And Boggerbolts. Right, okay, so who else? Pac-Man! How's Pac-Man doing? Just about to start. No, he's finished. So we've got a lot of cars now coming into the pits. Cavolis, let's jump on with you, considering I missed you last time and you shot up into 2nd position. Jack as well, 20.6. That one snuck on. I'm missing all the good laps today, but I'm managed to get the first crash. So Cavolis just managing to keep it out of the barrier there, destroying some polystyrene boards there. I don't think he has any damage, so he can just recharge and go again. Just depends what he has done to his tyres. Right, so Connor is the only other person. Take that back, just gone into the pits to show me up. So we have no driver on a lap at all at the moment. Cavolis unfortunately hitting the polystyrene barriers after a small spin, so he'll be making his way possibly back to the pits. So let's keep an eye to see who is the first one out, and it is Wazza. So Wazza on an out lap will open up his, or will enable his ERS now. Obviously have it on none for the out lap, just to keep as much charge as you can. I'm not quite sure what recharge is like around here. Unfortunately, I didn't race last night. I'm finding it hard to find time to race or to practice, but hoping that will change in the future. But yeah, not quite sure what the recharge rate is, but I wouldn't have thought it's going to be that easy around here because you've only got a very few amount of corners that you can knock it down into a recovery mode before you need to put it back up again to get onto one of the many straights here. So they don't call it a Templar speed for nothing. It has been an ever-present on the Grand Prix circuit since 1950. I think there was one race that was missed. I can't remember why. The circuit was opened in 1922, so 102 years old. Let's jump with Wazza now coming around the final corner of the Parabolica onto the start-finish line. We see what time he can put in. Currently 121.2 down in 9th place. And it's a 20.8 up into 5th place for him, but still 7/10 off of Ralph. Ralph having a really strong qualification session here, half a second quicker than anybody else at the moment. So we're starting to see cars now coming out for their final run, so I'll keep up with as many as I possibly can. Velocitor is... I don't think he's on a lap looking at his ERS depletion. He may well be, may have just forgotten to turn it on, but in which case you just abort and go again. Behind, I'm noticing we have the two McLarens, both on their outlaps. And Johnny, has Johnny started? He has. Johnny has started his final lap. I notice, is it... Where are we going? Oh, Pac-Man having a off-track excursion there. Comes Johnny through the Ascari. We'll see what time he can pop on the board. Needs to pull himself up a bit if he can, although grid position is not always the end of the world at Monza. But what you don't want to be is in the middle of the pack if something kicks off at turn number 1, which it has a very high chance of doing. So Johnny 120.860, so puts himself up into 7th position there. Hammers has invalidated Bogorovsky. We'll see how he is doing approaching the final sector. We will see the split now. We'll know if he's up. He's ever so slightly down on his time, so he needs to find 8/10 in the final sector to pop it onto pole position, which I don't think he's going to do unless he has a rocket up his backside. Pavlosidor just ahead. He's not going to have time to go for a second run anyway. Bogorovsky across the line with a 20.575, so does improve by nearly 4/10 in that final corner to go up, the final sector to go up into 2nd place. So good from Bog there. I think he must have. I think he found some time through Ascari and possibly through the Parabolica. Perhaps it didn't go quite as well as he had hoped. Johnny coming across the line now. No, Johnny has aborted, so it is going to be Ralph. Ralph, purple sector 2 as well. A 10th up on his time. Could pop into the 119s, hit 120.057. That is a stonking time by Ralph. 120.057, 120.275 second place. So we're 2/10, nearly quarter of a second quicker. Brother Adam popping it up into 3rd place there as well. Brother Adam into 2nd. Just watching as Cavolis comes round. 20.6, so he is up into 6th place. So that is the grid set. So Ralph taking his first pole position of the season. Brother Adam in 2nd place, Connor 3rd, and Bog in 4th place. So title protagonist Johnny down in 9th position. So let's go and run through the starting grid. So Ralph taking a dominant pole position, to be honest, was quick from start to finish. Brother Adam in 2nd place, Connor in 3rd, Bogarowski in 4th, then Jack Kazingle in 5th. Notice he's got a 5-position grid penalty as well, so he's starting in 10th. Kavolis in 6th, 7th, Daniel 8th, Wazza. 9th is Johnny, in 10th, Hammers, 11th, Skipper, 12th, Scully, 13th, Pavlosidor, 14th, Pac-Man, and 15th. And at the rear of the grid will be Composite. So we have an interesting race ahead of us. Will they survive turn 1? Who knows, but join me and we'll find out.
It's just about time to get today's Grand Prix underway. We have a number of drivers in contention, but of course only one can claim that coveted top step of the podium. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest track in Formula One. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some close action.
Well, welcome back everybody. As you can see, we've just commenced the warm-up lap, and not sure if Ralph realises it's a warm-up lap because he has bolted away from everybody else, obviously trying to get some heat into those tyres. But just looking at the tyres, pretty much the whole field going for the medium tyres, other than Connor in 3rd and Hammers in 9th. Hammers going for the soft tyres again. As I say, I do apologise, but I don't have a lot of knowledge on the tyre life around here. I did hear that it was a medium hard is the ideal strategy, so whether Hammers is looking at stretching those softs or whether there might be an early safety car switch on to the hard, see how far it can get them, we will have to wait and see. But yes, the majority on mediums, just Connor in 3rd using the hard tyres, and Hammers in 9th using the soft tyres. So right, let's get rid of the tyre delta here. We've got a bit of a spread out grid here. As I say, Ralph is on the start finish line, and Composite has only just not long got out of the Ascari chicane. So all the heat that Ralph put into the tyres by going round quickly, unfortunately he is going to lose by the time everybody else settles into their grid. Okay, so Composite, the last man to settle. So see if we can get a decent camera angle. This looks like the best we are going to get. So we are 5 red lights. The lights are out and away we go. Please give me a better camera angle. There we go, much better. Oh, and it looks like the McLaren getting a bit fruity on the inside there of Hammers. Apart from that, we don't seem to have had a little bit of carbon fibre there, but I can't see who that was from, but nothing major. We still have 15 cars in the race, which is always good. But Ralph losing the lead off of the start there to brother Adam. Connor retaining his third place. Kavolis and Wazza exchanging positions there, popping into the first chicane. Kavolis just running over the curb there, I think, just to keep out of the way, but he does maintain the position on Wazza. Bogorowski in 6th position, Daniel in 7th, Hammers in 8th, Scully 9th, Skipper 10th, Kazinga 11th, Johnny currently down in 12th, so not a great start by him. But it's the long game. I know Johnny's not been looking forward to the second half of this season. I think it's not tracks that suit him. Jack having a bit of an incident there. Not sure if he tapped someone, but I just saw him losing it on the exit of Ascari. I think it could have just been on the curbs. But Jack now back into last position. Brother Adam, meanwhile, still leading. DRS is now active, so we are going to see a lot of cars closing up. So further back, looks like Bog was thinking of going for a move, and Daniel just decides to use Bogorowski as a brake there. It is difficult here to pick your braking point, but there is still a braking point. So luckily, I don't think that has caused any damage to Bogorowski. Certainly nothing we can see. But manages to continue. Scully losing a position or gaining a position now on Pac-Man. I think it's getting interesting with Pac-Man just behind. As a very quick Pac-Man, but he's again, I think he's just not had a lot of time to practice on this game, so he's struggling a bit and can be prone to the odd mistake. Johnny struggling down in 11th with a group behind him. Go back up. So the McLarens now pretty much line astern, and we've seen they can and will work together. Connor popping in fastest lap, beaten by Wazza straight away. 23.047. So Wazza doing well in 5th place so far, managed to get to lap 3, and he hasn't picked up a penalty yet, so it's a big improvement for Wazza. So Kavolis has been quite strong the last few races as well. I'd say was very unlucky not to win in Belgium. It was pretty strong, I remember, in Great Britain as well, and so far continuing that by 4th place, just behind Connor, and everybody line astern pretty much down to 7th, and we've got a bit of a gap to Skipper. So Scully having a cleaner start than he's had the last few races, so managing to get in some clear air and hopefully make some progress up the field. Let's get back to the front group here. So Connor coming under pressure from Kavolis now, who I think is likely to try for a move down the start-finish line. So no rain forecast from what I can see and have been told, so I think we're going to be looking at a dry session. Wazza makes the move past Kavolis and up into 4th place. So Wazza on the move, and he's dragging Bogorowski with him. We've got Skipper and Scully exchanging positions there. Scully losing a few positions, to be honest. I think he got poor traction out of turn 2 and unfortunately got swamped by 3 or 4 cars that were directly behind him. Meanwhile, Pac-Man making his way up into 9th position. Okay, so let's keep our eyes back on the front here. We've got to 2 groups of battles going on, but I'm going to try and stick at the front there, especially with Ralph now taking the lead on Brother Adam. So Ralph getting back what he lost. Who was that? It was Wazza. It was Wazza. I'm sure I saw somebody flying off to the left, and I think it might have been Wazza. Has he got any damage? Pac-Man and Johnny fighting down in 9th and 10th. Just want to have a look. No, Wazza not got any damage, so perhaps I think might have managed to avoid obstacles, but he probably would have got a warning for that. So Jack now. Blimey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. All unfortunately the Haas being popped out a bit wide there, so Scully losing a further position. Kazingle and Pac-Man seem to have made a bit of a break now. Scully in 11th, and you got Johnny just behind, not having. Oh crikey, what happened there? No, it wasn't Scully, it was Pac-Man. Who hit who? Jack? I think Pac-Man hit the back of Jack. Certainly lost his right end plate. I think Jack is okay. Right, let's get back to the front here because Ralph has lost the lead. Watching the fight a bit further down, I really need to be watching it at the front, considering we are. Well, the top 6 are pretty much in the same shot. Hammer's dropping off a bit, nearly 4 seconds behind Wazza. Not sure if he's had an incident or whether those softs have just got off ever so quickly. Hammer's picking up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's, again, so easy to do here because you're flat out around that corner and then pulling in, but certainly not going to help his chances of getting on the podium today. So McLaren are leading the Constructors' Championship as well. So although Bogorowski currently in 5th and still in the hunt for the lead, needs a bit of backup from his teammate as well just to help out score. I think it's the Williams team that are pushing them very hard. We'll get them up in a bit, but I just want to keep an eye because we have got some nice close cars here, but it's we're just looking for a few overtakes. I know Bog is just going to sit back pretty much and keep up with them as best he can. Obviously, if he sees an opportunity, he will go for it, but he's a bit of a wily old cat and will wait for others to make mistakes. Connor in 3rd place has been in good form this year. Again, another driver that the race seems to come to him as it goes on, not opposed to using an alternate strategy, and well, probably 8 times out of 10 it actually works for him. But here we are, he's getting a little bit sandwiched there, but makes a move. Is he going to take the lead? No, up into 2nd place, but overtakes 2 cars there, so but overtakes Ralph there, although I think he might have been overtaken by Kavolis at some point. Bog now making a move up the inside of Kavolis, who got a bit squirrely just coming out of turn number 2. So Bog now up into 4th place and just keeping on the back of who was our race leader literally half a lap ago. Ralph Albert's now down into 3rd. Why do we have yellow again? Yellow. Pac-Man, I think, not having one of his best days at the office. Hammer's a bit further back as well. Obviously fresh tyres, but with that 10-second penalty. So let's get back to the front. So Kavolis has now been overtaken by Wazza, and Wazza, has he just dropped out of DRS? We'll see if he can open it or not. he did not get DRS, but behind him Kavolis will. So Kavolis will look for a move, I am sure. Right, coming down into turn number 1, Connor making the move past brother Adam. Ralph in 3rd place, Bog staying in 4th. Wazza keeping the position from Kavolis. And then we have an 8-second gap now separating 6th to 7th place. So we do have this front 6 are pretty much running away with it. Wazza needs to draw in that gap a bit on Bog if he can. Or perhaps he could just go wide, let Kavolis past and start all again. But never mind, right. Top 4 now seem to have just moved away ever so slightly, obviously with the error by well, that's an error, but the incident with Wazza at the chicane back there has now given them pretty much a 2-second gap. Bog making his way past Ralph up into 3rd position. And we'll now go on the hunt of brother Adam in 2nd. Connor still leading the way and pulling out a bit of a gap. Bog just might have dropped out of DRS zone there. Whereas brother Adam, yeah, Bog dropped out. Brother Adam, not sure if he had it, wasn't using it, or whether I just cut away too late. But by the by, is in 2nd position. So penalties, we have Kazingle, Scully and Hammers. I'm not quite sure who has Wazza into the pits. It comes out on a fresh set of hards, so we'll be looking at taking those to the end. Let's pop up the tyres actually, so we've got an idea of... Connor's in such a good position, leading the race on 8-lap old hards. Can go longer than anybody else, will have fresher tyres at the end. The only thing he's got to be careful of is the undercut. So Jack now moving up into 6th place. Quite a gap's opened up here. I'm not sure what is going on, but we've now got a 3-second gap between Ralph and brother Adam, where we had 4 literally composites out. What's on a composite? Oh, yo, through a scurry. He has caught the outside and spun round. So we've got a safety car which is going to bunch the field all back up again. Who is going to make a pit stop? I think the majority have gone past the pits. So who have we got in the pits? We've got Skipper, we've got Johnny, we've got Jack, we've got Scully, we've got Pac-Man, Hammers. This will get Hammers back into it. Not sure if he can serve his... I think he might be able to serve his 10-second penalty as well. So if he can shake that off. But let's see. Right, back to the leaders. So Connor, I'm sure will be... Oh, mind you, he's on the hards, isn't he? This is probably the worst possible scenario for Connor. He could have done with this game probably another five laps or so. I think would have been ideal for him. But is he going to make a move, come in, put the mediums on, try and reach them for 17 laps? Or is he going to keep going? I think he's coming in. He is coming in. So a good call, to be honest. I know it's a gamble, but you would make yourself, well, you pretty much put yourself out of the race otherwise. Brother Adam also coming in, Ralph coming in, Kavolis coming in, Bogorovsky coming in, Wazza shouldn't need to because he's only just stopped. Be interesting to see what tyres people are going into. Excuse me. They're pretty much all doing, yeah, all onto hards other than Connor, who has had to go onto the mediums because of the fact you have to use two different tyre types during a race. So Ralph out in third, Cavolis in fourth, Bog in fifth. Wazza recovering now into sixth position. So looks like that spin might not be as costly as it turned out to be, because he will now be right on the back of Bogorovsky. His teammate Kazingal, so Jack up into seventh position, does have a 3 second, I think it's a 3 second time penalty. Let's have a look. Oh, Johnny has a drive through. Oh, Johnny, not going your way tonight, buddy. Always next week. China next week. And 3 seconds for Scully as well. So Hammers did actually manage to serve his 10-second penalty in the pit stops there. Okay, so we're going to have at least one more lap, because we have Pac-Man, Hammers and Pavlosidor that have not caught up the field yet. Right, so just Pavlosidor now to catch up. Still got 21 seconds to make. Don't think he will be under Delta anymore, so we should be able to close that up fairly quickly. Or maybe he still is under Delta, looking at the timing, but starting to come down now. But he's got about half a lap to catch up, because I think the safety car will be in this lap. So one retirement so far, Composite, unfortunately losing it in the Ascari chicane, which has brought out this safety car. So lap number 12, 16 laps including the one that we are on. So fastest lap of the race so far by Wiser, 123.047. So pretty much all of the top 6 are lapping in the 23s, mid to lows. So pretty competitive field here. But Johnny having to serve that drive through is going to be painful for him. Always better to serve it as soon as you possibly can, as much as you do not want to. So, Christ, it's not going well at all, is it? Daniel now crashing into Johnny. So we are right, safety car is coming in, and we are go as late as he possibly could for Connor there. So restart, Hammers making up 10, making up loads of positions. What's happened back there? Right, let's get back to here and see what goes on down at the first corner. I think we are through it without too much of an issue. So it's twice they have managed to get through turn 1 without incident. That's good to see. So Connor retains the lead and nearly pulling out almost a second. So got a really good start on Brother Adam there, but I expect him to stretch his legs a little bit. Obviously being on those medium tyres will get the heat into them quicker, will have the superior grip for a few laps, but then Brother Adam's going to be able to start eking him back in. So behind Ralph and Cavolis, we're just battling there. We have a yellow flag. Who do we have off? Daniel. So Connor comfortable at the moment. 1.4 seconds clear of Brother Adam, so DRS is going to be enabled again this lap. So we have one lap after the safety car and then it comes back on again. But he has pulled 122.856. That's a big improvement on fastest lap, obviously on fresh mediums. But has pulled out, as I say, that 1.5 second gap, so he is out of the DRS range. What he will be hoping is that the cars behind are going to be fighting like mad, holding each other up, and it will just give Connor that chance to pull out a gap that he can defend on wearing tyres towards the end of the race. So championship leader Bog currently in 5th position, still well within touch of the lead. But as you said about Bog before, it's consistency which is putting him in the position that he is at the moment. Always seems, you know, he's got good pace and seems to be up there, but it's just the consistency that's actually, I think, given him that little bit extra over some of the others this year. So Cavolis hanging on to the coattails of Ralph. Obviously DRS will be enabled here, so I expect them all to close up ever so slightly. Hammers is up into 8th position, so just not far behind his teammate. Jack and Bog battling away there, but Jack not quite up to give away position number 6 yet. Scully picking up a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. Not sure why that was, but so Daniel recovering down in 14th. Johnny 13th coming, put some fresh tyres on. Yep, Daniel keep going, see what he can do. Right, okay, Brother Adam now coming under pressure from Ralph. Going through the Ascari, I believe Ralph will go for a move on the start-finish line, but Connor has bolted 2.7 seconds clear. That's only, what, 2 laps under, is it 2 or 3 laps after the safety car? So looking about a second a lap that he's managing to pull out on them. Just needs to make sure he doesn't take too much out of his tyres. Another fastest lap, 22.852, so he is pushing, but Wazza with a 22.498 is Brother Adam and Ralph there, sorry, just keeping an eye on that. Completely forgotten what I was saying, so I will continue. So Ralph managing to, well, not managing to get past Brother Adam, is now putting himself under pressure from Cavolis as we're heading down towards turns number 4 and 5 as we head into the Lesmo one. Lesmo 2 into the straight DRS open. So Ralph will be looking at closing as best he can. Connor 2.8 seconds clear. So it started to stabilise a bit, that gap. I'll have a look at the last lap times in a minute. Obviously 22.8 from Connor. And we had a 22.4 from Wazza, but he's down in 7th position. Brother Adam is at 23.6, so similar lap times as we are going. Ralph again looking for the move and does make the move. Brother Adam didn't want to give it up easily though, looked for a counter move down the inside, bit of a undercut on the corner. Couldn't quite get the angle though and has to give up the position. So Ralph up into 2nd position and will be on, oh gee, Jack and Hammers getting a little bit caught up there, and Waz are involved as well. Right back here, because you've now got Pac-Man is hot on the tail of these. So we've got some good close racing going on everywhere. It's a bit difficult to know which group to keep up with. I want to keep an eye on the leaders. Obviously Connor now 3.1 seconds clear, so just managing to stretch it out ever so slightly, but I think with Ralph, Brother Adam and Kavolis all battling behind, that is helping, but that will also help Hammers and Bogorovsky to close up, but they could end up pulling the whole of this group with them. So Pac-Man now will have DRS open, as will Wazza in front, but Pac-Man's got the slipstream going for the move down the inside. So it goes side by side, Wazza not giving that up easily. A bit of carbon fibre there, but I don't think anyone's end plates or anything's gone missing. I think it's just the game mechanics. Bog and Hammers in 5th and 6th, so they'll need to work together to close that nearly 2.5 second gap to the second group. Connor doing stellar work, 3.3 seconds, so managing to pull out another 0.2 on that lap, but we are getting to the point now where I think the tyre compounds are going to stabilise. And potentially, well, not potentially, but then the wear on Connor's mediums are going to be far superior to the hards, and we should see that gap come down again. It's just a matter of whether Connor can do enough to keep himself out ahead. So two McLarens looking at working together in the race as they did during qualifying. He's going to try and pull away as best they can. Kazingle holding on to the back there, whereas Wazza now into the pit. No, Wazza's just been overtaken by Pac-Man. So Pac-Man up into 8th place and down to 9th place. They're getting not a great drive out of turn 2. Right, let's see what is going a bit further up, because I've missed it quite a bit, because Kavolis up into 2nd place, Brother Adam up into 3rd, Ralph has dropped down into 4th. But Connor is keeping quite stable out in front. They get coming down ever so slightly, but only by a 1/10 or so a lap. If you excuse me, I'll be back in just one moment. Okay, so Connor's lead now down to 3.1 seconds, so another 1/10 coming out on that lap, but nothing major, nothing huge to worry about. Cavoli's still in 2nd place. Hammers and Bog have closed that gap hugely. That was a couple of seconds, and now it is nothing, so we are pretty much nose to tail for position 2 down into position 7. Then we've got a bit of a gap, and then Wazza has 3 cars battling behind him, so Scully picking up another penalty. I think that's 6 seconds for him today. Bog dropping off ever so slightly behind Hammers there. Brother Adam back up into second place. Cavolis down into third. We nose to tail there. Gap at the front down to 2.7 seconds. So I think Havoc is, oh sorry, Connor. I'm just going to call him Connor. Connor is starting to struggle a little bit on those tyres. 7 laps to go, including the one that we were on, so roughly 6.5. But if anyone can make those tyres last, it's Connor. But I'm sure he can see the chasing pack now, 2.5 seconds gap, and probably going to be unsettling just a bit. Wazza picking up a time penalty there. Is that his first penalty? That is in 9th position. That's his first penalty of the day. Well done, Wazza. Lap 21 before you pick up a pen. It's good to see those improvements, sir. But Connor, yeah, 2.6 seconds clear, and then we have this snake of cars, as I say, from second down into 7th position. Potentially any of these can win the race. Anyone from Connor in first, right the way down to Jack in 7th, I think are more than capable of winning this race. And you still can't class out, you know, also knock out Pac-Man and Wazza, although they're battling away a little bit further back. Wazza looks like he has made the move now up into 8th place, but losing a bit of time there, so I think that might have been a bit of a tangle, but Wazza now losing a position to Skipper, and now getting position back on Skipper, so these two are battling going through the Lesmos there. I think Skipper will look at trying to make the move back under DRS there. Where's that? So we now have a virtual safety car. Okay, not quite sure what went on there. Looked like there was some hard racing between Skipper and Wazza, and we just saw Wazza losing a bit of control on the straight, which is a little bit weird, but he is still in the race. He's just got no nose, so he's going to be coming round to put a fresh wing on. I'm sure he's going to be absolutely steaming, so I'm glad I am not in the chat tonight. But he will come in, put on, yeah, fresh set of softs to the end of the race now. Right, is anyone else going to go for a pit stop? Don't think there's anything to gain for anyone. Although Bog did come in and put fresh softs on in 9th position. So dropping a few positions, I think it's going to find it difficult to. He might have been hoping it was going to turn into a full course safety. It hasn't. Bog is going to be very, very quick, and overtaking isn't really going to be a problem around here. But that's a hell of a gap to make up. To the leader, he is 29 seconds. Yeah, so about 27 seconds off his teammate, which is obviously the price of a pit stop. But it looks like we are back under green racing again. So Connor, his gap now down to 1.6 seconds. Would have given him a chance just to rest his tyres under that safety virtual safety car period, but still going to find himself under pressure, I think, very, very shortly. So Hammer's looking to move his way up into 3rd place, but Cavolis not having any of that. I'm going to get rid of these tyres now because we don't need any information up. pretty much what tyres they're on now. They are going to finish, even if we have a safety car. Can't see anybody is going to come in and pit now unless it is for damage. So Hammer's just losing a bit of ground there to Cavolis, but just probably giving himself a bit of breathing space, so he's got a good view to go through the Ascari chicane here. Just get that left, right, left. Perfect. Keep yourself within a good slipstream, and then look to get a catapult off of the parabolica onto the straight, and then open up that ERS and DRS and just see if you can slide it up the inside of both of them. Connor not far up the road now, really is starting to struggle, but let's go back to the external cam because we have got Cavolis going for a move for second place, and he does so cleanly around the outside of Brother Adam. I don't think Brother Adam put up too much fight there. I think he knows he can get him back. Obviously use the toe, use the DRS. Ralph still in the fight, keeping hold of 5th place there. Bog pretty much in no man's land now, 4.5 seconds behind Pavlosidor, so just be looking at gaining as many points as he can. Was a 21.631, so a whopper of a lap, pretty much half a second quicker than anybody else has managed, but he is on fresh softs with not a lot of fuel left in the tank, so he's going to be light and quick. Connor has now been caught. They are within DRS range, and he has a trio, well, in fact a quartet of cars behind him looking to take the lead and ultimately take the win of the race. So lap number 26 we are on now, the penultimate lap. Connor is going to lose the position to Cavolis, so down into second place, and Brother Adam goes for a bit of a late lunge up the inside there, but manages to back out. No harm done, but we have lost a bit of time to Cavolis, who has now managed to pull himself, well, nearly got himself a second gap, which is what he needs just to get out of that DRS zone. Hammer's losing the position there to Ralph. Bog now close to within just under 2 seconds of Pavlosidor, so has 2 laps to get past him. Skipper a further 3 seconds up the road. I think that might be where his journey will probably end, so Bog will probably be looking at about 7th position if he can. Still solid points with Johnny not picking up any, but you've also got to look, where have we got Jack in 10th position, so he's not picking up many points. So the main Hammer's now back up into 4th position. So the main gainer, I think, is going to be Hammers in the championship race. Daniel down in 14th. Brother Adam, I can't remember where he is in the championship. Currently 3rd, so it'd be good for him. But Cavolis looking at turning some of the pace that he's had in the last few races into a potential race win here. Brother Adam was looking for the move, deciding against it's probably wise, to be honest. There's better and other places to go for it, but we now have a group of 5 who is going to win. Connor still in there as well in 3rd position. Those medium tyres must be screaming a little bit. What's he done? 16 laps on them, so they're pretty much going towards the end of their lifespan, but he now needs to give them as much grip as he possibly can. But Cavolis is still leading as we go around Lesmo 2 onto the straight down to the Ascari chicane for the last time. He is keeping the lead. Brother Adam going for a move up the inside, and I had a feeling that was going to end up in a little bit of carnage. Connor looking at moving up the inside, and now it is all kicking off everywhere. What the hell is going on? And Cavolis manages to keep his car in front, so I would be interested to see the on board for those a little bit later. But Kavolis does take his first victory of the season. Might be the first victory of his career. Not 100% sure on that, but taking victory today anyway. Ralph Alber's coming home in second. Brother Adam bringing the Ferrari home in third. And Pac-Man bringing it home in fourth for the... so Tifosi will be happy with third and fourth. Skipper in fifth. Hammers down into sixth in the end there. Bog did recover back to seventh position on those soft tyres. Pavlosidor in eighth. F1 Johnny, or J5 Gaming as he is now, coming home in ninth. Jack Gazingle in 10th position. Connor did not finish. I think that was all to do with coming out of Ascari. I think Connor unfortunately was an innocent bystander there, making a move up the inside which was more than available for him. And as I say, it will be interesting to see the footage on that, but unfortunate for Connor, because I think he had that win in the bag after that incident there. But Wazza coming home in 12th, so Scully 11th. Wazza deciding to wreck another nose cone. I'm sure Mercedes will be very happy with that. But that's the Italian Grand Prix. It's never ever short of incidents here. We didn't get any at the first corner, but we got some pretty much towards the last couple of corners. I say not 100% sure what was going on there. I saw Kavolis and Brother Adam, I think it was, were battling and they went wide. Connor made the move up the inside, and next thing I just saw the Ferrari going across and all carnage. But it's by the by, it's unfortunate it didn't finish perhaps as it should have. But Kavolis taking his first victory, and I say he showed pace in the last few races, so it's not as if this is a surprise. And he was there or thereabouts for all of the race, so it's certainly not something that was gifted to him. He has earned that, so congratulations to him. So just a run through of the finishing order. So Kavolis taking his first win. Ralph managing to get second place from pole position, so keeping it there. Brother Adam third place, so that rounds out the podium. Then we have Pac-Man in fourth, Skipper in fifth, Hammers in sixth, Bogorovsky in seventh, Pavlosidor in eighth, J5 Gaming or F1 Johnny in ninth, and rounding out top 10 is Kazingle. Then we have Scully, Wazza, Daniel down to 13th, and then Connor and Composite, the non-finishers today. So that brings to a close the Italian Grand Prix. As they're always eventful, I'm sure there'll be some talking points after that. I shall go and watch the chat erupt and find out what actually happened. So apologies, I didn't get a good camera angle on that. I was trying to, but the game just wouldn't let me. So you saw what I did. But anyway, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. For those obviously in England, we've got a bank holiday on Monday, so enjoy the long bank holiday and your August bank holiday Monday. We'll be back next week, obviously on Wednesday with Division 1, and I'll be back here next Thursday for Division 2. We'll be coming from China with another sprint race. So from me, Nell Boy, thank you ever so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the race, and I will